Good morning. It is Monday. It is the 2nd of September, and our reading is from 2 Corinthians 12:9. And he has said to me, "My grace is sufficient for you, for power is perfected in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, I will rather boast in my weakness, so that the power of Christ may dwell in me." Now, what's true for Paul is true for us, and here's the reality. No matter how strong you or I may think we are, we cannot do anything that God has called us to do, anything of value, out of our own strength. And if you've tried, you may think you've succeeded, but you've failed because you haven't done what God has called you to do. And this is true for you, it's true for me. The reality is that we can only be who God's called us to be in dependency on the Spirit, the power that comes from Him. This is why we as believers, when we accomplish something of worth, that worth is that it glorifies God and it will last for all eternity. We may be able to do things that look good, but unless they're done in the power of the Spirit, they have no real value. Not when it comes to eternity, not when it comes to giving God the glory. And that's the good news. God doesn't expect us to be who He calls us to be out of our own strength. He knows we can't, even when we sometimes fool ourselves and think we can. We work at producing the fruit of the Spirit. But I'm sorry, the fruit of the Spirit comes when we are walking in obedience to the Lord in the power of the Holy Spirit. It's the Spirit. He produces that fruit in us. We can't work it up. And so that's the blessing, that God gives us everything we need to be obedient and to serve Him. And we don't have to work it up. We just have to be willing to depend on the Lord to produce it in us, to depend on the Lord to empower us to walk in obedience. It's the only job where everything we need is provided and we have nothing to give in ourselves. And that's the blessing, but that's also the challenge, because our pride can get in the way. Well, I can do that. Yeah, you can. I can. In dependency on the Spirit. So have a Spirit-filled day in dependency on Him, and I'll see you again tomorrow.